In this video, I will talk about my teaching philosophy, my beliefs about adult learners, the strategies I use for teaching and feedback, the impact I hope to make, and my future goals. I believe that adult learners often come to acquire new skills and knowledge because they have arrived at crossroads in their life that either requires or invites them to explore the way forward. I have arrived at this belief through personal reflection, recognizing the causes that steered me towards looking at personal growth as a concept of lifelong learning. My belief is that every person has potential for growth given the right circumstances and guidance. I recognize that each individual brings their unique experiences, beliefs, and worldviews to my learning groups. I also recognize the barriers and limitations that each person faces, whether these are emotional, physical, situational, or financial. Again, I draw on my life experience as an immigrant, trauma survivor, parent, corporate employee, and a caregiver to approach my students with empathy and understanding. Each of these experiences can carry a multitude of challenges which may affect the capacity for learning. In the discipline of teaching mindfulness and meditation, trauma-sensitive approach and skillful guidance are of utmost importance, and I continue to deepen my own understanding of the complexity of human condition. My teaching approaches have been informed by my personal lived experience, skillful teachers and mentors who have demonstrated effective teaching through their embodied presence, and by empathy and compassion. My role is to facilitate a safe and inclusive group environment where all learners are seen and heard. Through personal practice and mentorship, I have come to highly value the pause in conversation, which allows space for reflection before responding. While this may feel different and even uncomfortable for students at first, they usually recognize the gift of this unhurried environment. I give individual attention to each person who needs additional guidance, recognizing that students respond differently to the practices learned. I also help students to connect with their direct experience by using inquiry. This practice helps individuals to parse the components of their experience, develop a better vocabulary to express their experience, and to start seeing situations from a new perspective. I offer well-designed, clear learning materials, and students have a variety of choices how to practice their new skills. What matters to me as a teacher is that my learners are able to apply their new skills directly to their everyday lives in a very relatable way. To ensure that, I provide students with options that fit their unique needs and circumstances. My Kolb educator profile confirmed my strengths as a facilitator. In this role, I draw out and connect learners with their interests, values, and motivation. I create a safe and inclusive learning space. I encourage curiosity for lifelong learning, and I inspire learners to be creative in finding ways to apply learning to their everyday lives. My aim as a mindfulness teacher is to remind individuals of their essential whole being and to stay in touch with their authentic needs, values, and motives. One of the ways for me to know that I'm making a difference is to see my students to return to my groups to continue learning. In the workplace, participants attended my weekly practice group for 5 years, and the participants of my open virtual community group have been regularly attending for 2 years now. To measure the impact, I conducted yearly feedback surveys with my workplace group, which helped me to measure the impact on learners. I have received numerous emails, thank you cards, and donations from my open community group. This helps to confirm the benefits to participants and it allows me to accommodate student needs and suggestions. I also measure impact through formative assessment during my class. Hearing from the participants that something they tried in class is working for them or has opened up a new way of looking at an experience confirms that they are receiving benefits. For my 8-week mindfulness based stress reduction program, I use a summative feedback form at the end of the program, in addition to continuous formative feedback received during the weekly classes. This allows me to adjust my teaching style, materials, and activities to better suit students' needs. My students have also made a profound impact on me, as I have learned just as much or perhaps even more from them as they have from me. I have learned about group dynamics, workplace factors, psychological health and safety, kindness, compassion, persistence, authenticity, and burnout, just to name a few. I believe that as a teacher, I need to be continuously learning to keep up with new approaches, research, and practice. In my view, knowing the content is an ever evolving process. I participate in learning groups and communities to stay up to date with the evolving practice and research in my subject area. I also approach other areas of knowledge with curiosity because I often draw connections between something seemingly unrelated and my own subject area. As an example, I am now developing a course by combining pain education with mindfulness. This challenges me to design a curriculum that guides individuals to explore the biopsychosocial factors in their life, combining it with evidence based pain education and personal lived experience that I contribute. I strongly connect with the quote from Parker Palmer: "We teach who we are." And questions that I ask myself every day are: why am I here? What really has meaning or value to me? What happens when I'm gone? How can I best take care of myself and others? And what is my life's work? So, my teaching philosophy places high value on individuals' ability to ask these questions, even when the answers are not obvious. And I continue to find new ways to help my students to approach these questions. I recognize that becoming a skillful teacher takes time. Weaving together professional development, mentorship, self reflection, and learner feedback helps me to identify gaps in my knowledge and apply new approaches to my teaching. My ideas about teaching and learning have changed greatly from the time that I was in grade school to being in university and when starting to teach myself. I know that I have a lot to learn, and my ideas will continue to change and evolve.